Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal is to address the nation tomorrow as his ongoing prime ministerial term is to mark 1 year. Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates about ongoing Israel aggression in Gaza and the Nepal Super League. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal completes first year as the executive head of the country. Analysts criticize the government for over-promising and under-delivering. Customs Department highlights on lack of support by Civil Aviation Authority in the investigation of gold smuggling. Security provisions at the TIA to be reformed. Egypt floats a new proposal for ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. At least 78 killed in the latest round of airstrike in Gaza. And Hungary FC reached the final of Nepal Super League. See off Pokhara Thunders in penalties. Three major parties have reached an agreement to conclude the bill related to transitional justice on the basis of consensus. Senior leaders of Nepali Congress, CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Centre had held discussions regarding the conclusion of the bill at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Baluatar earlier today. According to UML Whip Mahesh Bortola, another round of discussion is to be held among the top brass leaders before endorsing the bill through the winter session. Today's meeting was also attended by CPN-Maoist Centre Chair and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli. Leaders of the three major parties are in regular talks regarding the bills of Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappeared Persons and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has made preparations to address the nation tomorrow as his ongoing term marks 1 year. Dahal is to address the nation from the office of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers in Singha Darbar at 3 p.m. tomorrow. According to Prime Minister Dahal's Secretariat, he is to address the nation in presence of the members of Council of Ministers, Chief Secretary and Secretaries. Dahal was appointed the Prime Minister with the support of CPN-UML, Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Janata Samajwadi Party and other fringe parties on December 25 last year. After breaking the alliance involving CPN-UML 2 months later, Dahal has been leading the government with the support of parties including Nepali Congress. Now, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal's government has completed the first year of its 5-year term today. When taking office last year, the Premier did not hesitate in airing commitments to improve social security, good governance and the economy. However, the Premier is dissatisfied over the performance of the government himself. The Premier had suggested this was the last time for him to prove his use to the public. In the first 2 months, the Prime Minister changed the ruling political equation as he ditched CPN-UML and joined hands with Nepali Congress. Although the government managed to initiate probe into Lalita Niwas land scam, fake Bhutanese refugee scam and gold smuggling scandals, the country's internal economic indicators remain feeble and the issue related to passport and license, among others, remain unchanged despite glossy announcements as over 1 million are still waiting for their licenses. The Prime Minister in his first year also courted controversy by airing statements at public platforms regarding his relationship with foreign nationals and their role in his appointment. This had resulted in disruptions at the Parliament sessions. In the first year, the government also took controversial decisions like granting pardon to convicts like Regal and Resam Chaudhary, who were serving life in prison for murder. Prime Minister Dahal was also unable to conclude the transitional justice process and the laws are still in consideration at the Parliament. The government also failed at giving business to the Parliament. A dozen bills are awaiting discussions at the Parliament. The Premier also invited criticism for showing leniency towards southern neighbour India, although his India visit did result into a power trade agreement based on which Nepal will export 10,000 megawatts of electricity in the next 10 years. Climate activists have also taken the Premier's presentation on loss and damage and compensation at COP28 in a positive manner. Likewise, the Nepal visit by UN Chief Antonio Guterres has also been taken as a success of the government. However, political analysts opine the government has failed to benefit from its relationship with other neighbour China. And in this context, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked people in several provinces what they think of the first year of the current government. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
कार्य सरकारले राम्रो गरेको छ त्यसको प्रचार गर्न सकेको छैन 30% गर्न आफ्नो नातागोताले गर्दाखेरि 30% को हल्ला खोज्दै गर्दाखेरि 70% काम नदेखेको मात्रै हो
प्रधानमन्त्री हुने बेला त्यहाँले युवाहरूलाई पूर्ण रूपमा रोजगारी दिन्छु भनेर भन्नु भएको थियो त्यो अहिले सम्म दिन सक्नु भएको छैन
जनताको सँग सरोकार कुनै पनि कार्यक्रमहरु उहाँहरूले ल्याउन सक्नु भएको छैन
उद्योगपतिहरु सबै पीडित छन्
जुन सुरुवात हुन्छ नि तपाईको राम्रो हुने त्यो लक्षण त देखिएन
महंगाई त बढिरहेछ
यहाँ भन्दा भ्रष्ट सरकार कुनै पनि छैन
विकासको काम भएको देखिन्छ
भ्रष्टाचार र महँगीमा काम गर्नको लागि पूर्ण असफल भएको महसुस मैले गरे
आफ्नो पार्टी र आफ्नो चाहिँ कार्यकर्ताको निम्ति चाहिँ त भा होला आफ्नै परिवारको निम्ति र अरु जनताको निम्ति केही एउटा माखो मारेको छ
हाम्रो देशमा आर्थिक अवस्था पनि सुध्रिएको छैन युवाहरू विदेश पलायन भइरहेको छ
Dispute related to seniority in Nepali Congress, which had begun immediately after the 14th General Convention of the party 2 years ago, has now reached its peak. Because of the dispute, a few leaders have stopped sharing stage at programs. Shekhar Koirala, who had lost the race for party president in the 14th General Convention, and party vice president Purna Bahadur Khadka are in a dispute regarding the second rank in the party. Koirala and Khadka have not been sharing the same stage at programs in recent time. The party statute has no provision for senior leader. However, a precedence was set after the candidate losing the election for party president was accepted as a senior leader during the presidential term of late Girija Prasad Koirala. In the rank prepared by Congress Central Committee, Shekhar Koirala is placed 25th. While setting the ranks, members close to Koirala had demanded recognizing him as the senior leader. In the 12th General Convention, Sher Bahadur Dewa, who lost the presidential election, was recognized as senior leader, while Ramchandra Podil, who lost in the 13th General Convention, was also given the same recognition. Following these instances, some Congress members have called for giving continuity to the practice. It was said that Dewa was prepared to appoint Koirala as the senior leader some time back. However, no discussion has been held on the issue in the Central Committee since then. The Christian community has celebrated Christmas today by commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. Christ was born 2,000 years ago in Bethlehem, Jerusalem. Extending wishes on the occasion of Christmas today, President Ramchandra Podil and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal said the festival plays an important role in maintaining social harmony. The government has issued a public holiday today on the occasion of Christmas. Around 30 government units have been mobilized for the Tribhuvan International Airport, including security units, immigration and customs. However, in the past year, several criminal activities through the airport have come to the fore, raising serious questions on the state mechanism. And the involvement of airport officials in these incidents makes matters worse. A lack of coordination and support between these entities have also been reported. As the Customs Department has stated, the Civil Aviation Authority did not support with the investigation of 14-kilogram gold smuggling. The department says the authority did not provide it with the required CCTV footage even when the airport staff were alleged of involvement. The department has added the authority also did not provide detail on how the 24,000 passes to the airport are being used and has concluded there is a need to reform the airport security mechanism. Meanwhile, the Airport Immigration Department has also been alleged of approving fake documents of people using illegitimate routes to go abroad. The department has also been alleged of supporting nexus of human trafficking, as in recent instance, immigration officer Narvir Khadka was arrested last week, while arrest warrant was issued against 2 other individuals. Following revelation of involvement in human trafficking, the department has transferred 33 of its staff elsewhere. There are 124 units operating within the airport, including governmental and non-governmental entities. Some of the crucial entities have lacked communication. The Immigration Department has said efforts are underway to consolidate all detail concerning the department for effective communication. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Home Affairs has formed a team to come up with recommendations for administrative reform. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked you what should be done to better manage child correction homes. 41% voted for option A, improve infrastructure, 30% for B, effective monitoring, and 29% for C, clear laws. Here's today's question. What should be done to improve security at Trivandrum International Airport? Your options are A, revise laws, B, coordination among government entities, and C, punish the guilty. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Nepal's tourism sector is finally reviving after the coronavirus pandemic. In this situation, the US has issued a travel advisory for American nationals, suggesting them to stay alert about possible political conflict during their visit to Nepal, which has come as a concern for Nepali tourism sector. Saying the other countries are likely to follow suit, stakeholders have suggested the government to take the advisory seriously. According to Tourism Board, the highest number of visitors coming to Nepal are from India, followed by the United States of America. Tourism sector has expressed its concern over the recent advisory issued by the government of USA, which has suggested its nationals to stay alert about certain aspects for their Nepal visit. The Tourism Board has said that the advisory is likely to create an impact on the tourists of other countries as well. 4 days after the US issued its travel advisory, Canada urged its nationals to remain alert about their visit to Nepal as well. Officials of the Tourism Board have said that the government should be aware about a similar advisory from the European Union, Great Britain, Japan and Australia. The Department of Foreign Employment has been devoid of leadership since the then Director General Madan Dahal was transferred 2 weeks ago. Dahal was transferred to the Department of Labour and Occupational Safety 7 months after he had joined the Department of Foreign Employment. Under his leadership, the Department of Foreign Employment had taken actions against faulty manpower agencies and institutions that ran orientation programs. During his 7-month stay, the department suspended 16 manpower agencies, halted transactions of 32 manpower agencies, and began process to scrap 2. However, as the position of the leadership is vacant, actions are yet to be taken against the faulty companies, and the department has yet to look after pending complaints. The department has also struggled to improve the lapses in its labor permit mechanism and the reintegration of workers that return from foreign employment. Now, the number of coronavirus cases have been increasing in neighboring India, most with the new subvariant GN.1. The Health Ministry back home has said the subvariant is yet to be detected. However, experts have urged for caution considering the rising number of cases in neighboring India. In the past 24 hours, 628 have tested positive in India, while 1 person infected with the virus has died. 63 of the newly infected have the new subvariant. Most of the cases have been reported from Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana and Tamil Nadu. Going by previous trends, experts warn the new subvariant might be reported in Nepal as well in the next 2 weeks to 1 month's period. The GN.1 subvariant was first detected in the US last September, and the World Health Organization had categorized it as a variant of interest. Health experts say although it is not lethal, people with chronic illnesses and those with weak immune system must adopt maximum caution. Experts have also urged people to get COVID vaccines. The Health Ministry has said caution has been adopted at the bordering areas and that it is ready if the subvariant is detected in the country. Based on government data, no COVID cases have been reported in the country in recent time. However, the bordering regions have begun reporting few positive cases. Government says 83% of the population have taken the first dose of COVID vaccines and 83.5% have taken both the doses. However, just around 11 million have received the booster doses so far. Now, industrialists and businesses have demanded formation of high-ranking commission to find solutions to the disputes related to dedicated and trunk line fees. Issuing a press statement, the Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industries, FNCCI, has urged for fixing electricity lines of industries previously cut off and not to cut electricity lines of any more industries. The private sector had protested after the Electricity Authority cut the lines without making any effort to find solutions to the dispute. Organizing a press meet, the FNCCI has said that no electricity would result in reduction in export, which would deteriorate the investment environment in the country. Meanwhile, the Nepal Electricity Authority has said that failure in making due payments for dedicated and trunk lines would lead to cutting electricity of all 61 industries. The NEA is yet to generate 22 billion rupees in payments from industries using power from dedicated and trunk lines. Electricity has already been cut off for 9 industries yet to make payments of more than 500 million rupees. Jagadamba Steels is yet to pay 4.14 billion rupees, Reliance Spinning Mill 1.94 billion, Gorahi Cement 1.36 billion and Arga Khachi Cement is yet to pay 1.31 billion rupees. Time now for international update. Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 78 people in Gaza in one of the besieged enclave's deadliest nights of Israel's 11-week battle with Hamas. The strike hit area of Maghazi refugee camp, which has been ravished. Strikes that began hours before midnight persisted into Christmas Day today. Residents and Palestinian media say Israel stepped up air and ground shelling against Al-Burais in central Gaza. The Israeli army said it was reviewing the report of Maghazi incident and was committed to minimizing harm to civilians. Hamas denies the Israeli charge that it operates in densely populated areas or uses civilians as human shields. Dozens of injured people were rushed to Maghazi to nearby Al-Aqsa Hospital. The Palestine Red Crescent Society says intense Israeli airstrikes have led to the closure of main roads between Maghazi and 2 other refugee camps, Al-Burais and Al-Nusayrat, hindering the work of ambulances and rescue teams. According to the Health Ministry, more than 20,000 people have been killed, mostly children and women, and 54,000 injured in Gaza since 7th of October. Earlier on Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war had come at a very heavy price for his country. The Israeli military has said more than a dozen soldiers have been killed in Gaza since Friday, bringing the total for the ground offensive launched after 7th of October to 156. Now, Israeli and Arab media say Egypt, which borders the Gaza Strip, has put forward a new proposal for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The new ceasefire proposal would be implemented in 3 parts. The first phase of the ceasefire would see a humanitarian pause of 7 to 10 days, during which Hamas would release all civilian hostages in exchange for some Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. In the week-long second phase, Hamas would release all Israeli female soldiers in return for more prisoners and the exchange of corpses held since 7th of October. The third phase, which would last a month, would see the release of the remaining hostages and a number of Palestinian prisoners and Israel withdrawing from the Gaza Strip, and also the suspension of all aerial activities. Indirect negotiations would be held in Egypt with Qatari and US participation. An Israeli source told Mariv newspaper that Egyptian initiative could lead to negotiations. Hamas has said it is studying the proposal. It's time now for sports update.
Sports news.
Dhangadi FC came back from behind in 2 occasions, once in the regulation time and again in the additional time, to finally secure a 4-3 win in penalties over Pokhara Thunders and seal their place in the final of the ongoing season of the Nepal Super League. Pokhara were put ahead in the 5th minute of the match by Ayush Khalan. Dhangadi captain Devendra Tamang scored the equalizer in the 54th minute. Both the sides then wasted their chances as the regulation 90-minute ended in a 1-1 draw and the match headed for additional extra time. Franklin Kuwaiti Tala then reinstated Pokhara's lead in the 103rd minute before Ahmed Hijazi put Dhangadi on level terms in the fag end of the additional time in the 120th minute. The match then headed to penalties where Dhangadi made the first error. However, Dhangadi custodian Mohammad Taha came to the rescue as Moses Tuam and Ayush Khalan failed to convert from the spot for Pokhara. Pokhara remain in the tournament despite today's defeat. They will now take on the winners of the clash between Kathmandu Razors and Lalitpur City FC for a spot in the final. The eliminator between Lalitpur and defending champions Kathmandu is slated for tomorrow. And that is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas.